close there, Heather?
I couldn't get logged in.
Colorado's, I think I didn't realize.
Yep, we're all set, ready to go.
Okay, are we all, everybody sort of organized? All right, I'd like to call the meeting to order, the HPC monthly meeting for December. Could we have the roll call? Let's start with Heidi.
Heidi Rieger.
Will Roddy Bush here.
John Sampson here.
Jeff Howes here.
Christina Tracy here.
Great, thank you. Approval of minutes. I didn't see any corrections. Anybody?
Me neither. I'd make a motion that we approve them.
I'll second.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Everybody in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nobody is opposed. Great. Okay, next meeting, which is the fourth Tuesday, I believe, January 23rd at 4 o'clock. Does that work for everybody?
I'm sorry,
so.
what was the time again?
4,
The date?
23rd.
23rd, January 23rd.
Okay.
Maybe this will be a short meeting. Local designations, Wood County Courthouse and Jail. Heather, have we considered any more the idea of a grant for the special sign?
So I heard back from the courthouse, and let me look here. So they are interested but not ready to move forward with the project. I was going to write her back with more questions, but I didn't get to that yet. So not at the moment.
So what was the grant dates? Are we going to be missing that?
I believe it was May 1st, the deadline.
Okay, so we have a little bit of time. Okay, we'll keep that on the agenda for maybe for next month. Former South Main School. Jeff, any progress on that?
No update.
The former BG Hospital on Wooster, the property that's now owned by Anissa Miller. I had a message from her, and I just wanted to read a little bit of that as far as an update about that building. Anissa writes that my initial hopes of donating the building to a local nonprofit do not appear promising. So I'm strongly considering developing it as a housing project. Single and multi-unit options are both on the table. Most importantly, I am seeking investors for such a project who would put up money for rehabilitation against an eventual sale. As you know, it was a huge investment for me to acquire the building. I am primarily investing in the neighborhood and the integrity of my home into the future. Ideally, it would be nice to find someone who's willing to invest with a similar respect for the historic district. I have no idea if such people exist in Bowling Green. Anyway, please consider this for a future building of the month with the proviso that it may still prove necessary to demolish the building if funds for rehab cannot be raised. And I know that it will cost thousands of dollars to rehab that building. So we're hopeful that she will be able to find some donor or somebody that wants to take on that project.
Yeah, hundreds of thousands.
Hundreds of thousands, probably.
Heating system.
Yeah, the estimate was 500,000.
Electrical, heating, pretty much
It needs everything.
everything but the shell.
Yeah.
Yep.
A lot of work on the shell.
So I know she's discouraged about that. I don't know where it will eventually lead to, but I want to just keep our commission updated as to that building, which is kind of an important one for Bowling Green.
John, was her intention that a nonprofit would come in and like renovate it?
Her hope was that she could donate it, and she's willing to donate the building to.
But then the nonprofit would have to renovate
Then
it.
they would be responsible for
She
It'd be
thought
the-
they would have a better luck getting grants than a single owner.
Okay.
And she was willing to pay for some repairs
Okay.
as part of the
And
package.
she's
but-
already repaired the roof, and I think there's other things that she's planning to do, but I don't know how far she's going to go if it's going to be demolished. She doesn't want to put a lot of money into it. So we hope that won't happen. Strategic plan and plans and goals, I think we're going to just skip over that again today. I don't think we have any changes. At some point, we should review and renew that strategic plan, but perhaps we have enough things going right now. So is that okay if we skip that topic? Okay. All right. The interpretive signage project. I want to give a huge thanks to our subcommittee. Rose Drain is here today, also Dick Martin, Jan, and Kathy for helping, and particularly to Heather and Jeff for doing the lion's share work on this project. It's been huge, and so many hours of time that you have spent, that we've all spent on this. So thank you for helping make this happen. We're almost there as far as meeting our goals and our dates. We'll talk about that calendar in just a little bit.
Thank you, John.
But I want that on the record.
Yeah.
Okay. Heather, are we pretty well in good shape as far as reaching out to our stakeholders for the signage project?
I think so. I think we took care of county courthouse. You did the special improvement district, you and Jeff.
We met with Dick. You met with Dick Edwards
Yeah.
as far as the Worcester Green.
Correct, yes.
I think that covers it pretty much, right?
I think so, yeah. I was going to talk to the police chief once we had a design, just so he could review that for the sign near the police building.
Okay. Okay. So we'll hope that's covered. The subcommittee friends and reports. Rose, you're the only one here today. Do you have any report? I know you finished your sign, and I believe we sent that one in. Right.
Did you see the version? Yes. Okay. I was hoping we forwarded it to you.
Yeah, we're all kind of doing group editing as we go along, and if you don't like our editing, tell us. But I think it's looking pretty good. Yeah. Talk about content. This would be a good time to do it.
Thing lately, but Jan sent us the draft of her signs, and I think the content, it's interesting and well written. However, her signs, I think, both say what's currently in those buildings, and I don't know that we want to say that because it could change.
Can you be a little more specific?
I'd have to pull up the email, but
I can say, are we still mic here? Okay, I can say that the text is not written in stone. We're sending it on to the sign company to make a draft, which will come back to us, and we can review more at that point. And if you have suggestions, we would definitely like them.
okay. Yeah, so I guess, I can send it in an email if that's fine.
Sure.
Okay,
That'd be great. To me or to Heather or Jeff.
okay.
Or to all of us, maybe.
Yeah.
Great.
All right, thanks.
Thank you. Heather mentioned to me this morning, I think, that I just have a note here about the city engagement plan. Is that in January? When does that come up?
Well, we talked about presenting at council meeting with an update on January 15th. And then figuring out what the engagement looks like with the public, which I'm not thinking we need to go that in depth. And that's, I guess, what I'm looking for feedback for, because I have this fear if we show every single sign design, we're kind of spoiling the surprise. And I feel like this is like a really special gift for our community. And so I guess I'm looking for feedback how we should handle that. I know that was part of the grant that we would, have some kind of engagement with the public, but I'm just kind of struggling what that will look like into the future. We talked about putting it on our website, but we don't think we have the capabilities right now to do anything in depth where you would show each sign and then, have a comment section. We discussed social media, but I don't know if that's really appropriate, because then that takes somebody to monitor that. And then what are we looking for? So I guess just, figuring out how we wrap up how we want engagement to look. And then from there, I can talk with our staff and see how we should present that, because that'll be coming up pretty quick. I was hoping to have some more sign designs for that. But again, looking for your feedback. I don't think we want to show every design, or do you? Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, I feel like it'll be like a really cool unveiling if not everybody knows every single sign, what it's going to look like.
Any feedback? I actually agree with you, Heather. And my suggestion, which may or may not be a good one, is if we could invite the public to our next meeting as public engagement, and if perhaps we could do we could do the same presentation that we do for the city council, just show maybe a couple of the signs, and take questions, and maybe there'll be some suggestions from the people that attend, and if nobody comes, that's okay too.
But that does give them a chance, and if we did it in online or in social media, I think we would get maybe a level of detail of response that we don't need at this point, right? We've done the research, and there may be other ideas for those signs, but I think we're beyond that. So I think it's best to show them what these are going to look like. That's one of the main things. Yeah.
Do you think that would be enough of a public engagement just to send out an open invitation? I mean, there's always an open invitation.
But we could emphasize it somehow, more than the usual announcement of the meeting coming up.
Well, I was thinking we could do it by topic, the same as our table that we already have. So we could just list the sign theme or title, and then hit each item in text of what it talks about the sign. Then you're not necessarily showing the design. Does that make sense? And every factual detail that we found. Maybe we do it that way.
Maybe we could show one or two signs, just as an example. And which I'm suspecting that's what we'll want to do for the January 15th City Council meeting anyway. And is that a 6 o'clock meeting on the 15th?
Those are at 7.
7 o'clock?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I will double check on that, though, first.
I will try to be available. Do we have other members of our commission that would and could be there?
I can.
Okay. Okay, well, at least 3 of us will be in attendance for that. The calendar for the signs, we are to have submitted, or at least we propose that we would have submitted all of the signage materials to the B sign group by January. I don't know if it's January 1st, but sometime early January. So where are we at right now? You're kind of the...
Yeah, so I gave you each copies of the summary of where we're at. So each one is a sign number, and that's just to organize all the materials for the sign company. So we have, for example, sign 1 is downtown/Main Street. We submitted that on December 14th, and John wrote that one and designed it. So the ones highlighted are the ones that we are still working on. So number 4, which is North Church Street School, Old Post Office, and then the police building. I'm working on drafting that now. And then the Southwest block. And that's really it. So we just have 3 out of 16 signs to get to the sign company. I gave them several the last couple days, so I'm sure I pretty much blew up their email. And they did give us one rendering back. So just to finish the packet. So what I did was I gave you a copy of the text and or pictures that we gave to the sign company, and then I numbered them. So number 1 is what John did, number 2, 3, etc. So just to give you an example, the last, and everybody did it in different formats, so that's why they all look different. Everybody kind of did their own thing, whether it was a PDF, Word, Publisher. And then the very last page, just to give you an idea, was, I think the first sign I gave them was number 16, which, by the way, we added that sign within our budget, which was nice. So I gave them number 16, which was about Bowling Green's interurban and steam rail lines, and then they turned around the design super quick. So I just gave you a copy of that mock design that they are requesting feedback for, excuse me. But I assume as we give them signs, they're going to send us these mock-ups back, and we're going to obviously review them very closely, edit them, and another big deal issue is getting high-quality pictures. I know we're going to struggle with that quite a bit because obviously they're historical, right? And so it's really hard to get, first of all, get the picture, where is it at, who took it, get the photo credit, get the permissions. And so that's probably a lot of the background things that we've been discussing to get. So as soon as I get a permission, I've been saving them, and I'm going to drop them into the SharePoint just so we have this all in one spot. If someone were to ask questions, we've been asking people how to properly credit the photo. Do you want to be Wood County Museum, Wood County Historical Museum? So we've been trying to be really careful about that. And then it gets a little more confusing when you're on ohiomemory.org. They're hosting the picture, but then there is a creator elsewhere. So, how do you write that and deal with that? So just a lot of background information that is really overwhelming a bit, quite frankly, but we're trying to keep it organized. So again, just thought this was an idea for you all to see what we all submitted. So we won't have the 3 signs in here because we don't have those done yet. And another thing we need to come up with is, I talked to the State Historic Preservation Office, and we need to come up with kind of a standard statement on all the signs that this project, just a little description of the project and how it was funded. So I don't think we want that to be very big, again, a sentence or 2. So she said she'd get back to me on that, but I thought we probably should come up with our own draft and then she can look at it later. But the Historic Preservation Office said they also need at least 2 weeks to review these signs. So we're still waiting for the design back from the company, then we'll all edit it again, look for the high quality pictures, and once we feel like we're pretty confident, at least with the text, I feel like we can send it to the Historic Preservation Office at that point, because I don't want to hold it up knowing that they get busy, and again, so we're on the right track, I hope.
Yeah. Am I understanding you correctly that we need a sentence or 2 on each sign saying how this came about and how it's funded?
Correct.
Okay. So.
Which the sign company did on that last page, the mock-up, or started to. We just need to.
It's so small. I'm not.
Right, I understand. Well, most of it's Latin. The first sentence just says information on the Historic Preservation Commission and the signage project. So we just need to figure out what we want to say.
When they said that the photos were not clear enough and we need to do better scans, did they tell you which ones, or did they just say we need better pictures?
They did not say which ones.
Okay. Maybe we can ask them to do that. That would be helpful because I think to go back and try to get new scans for all of these is going to be tricky.
Yeah, I understand. And they did create the QR code for us. So we created the link here to the story map where we're going to host the QR code. Basically, the QR code attaches to that website. So that's a whole other job that I think we're all kind of putting that out of our mind, because the QR code to us is going to have to be last at this point, because it's important to get the signs done and solidified and printed and then installed. So, but the QR code will definitely happen at some point. It's there. We just need to fill in all the additional research, because I know a lot of us have done a lot of research and have a lot of great information that we just couldn't all squeeze on the sign. So we want to share that at some point.
Great. I think it looks terrific. And all the signs that I've seen from our friends that have helped us, and from Jeff and Heather, and maybe we should be. I mean, we don't want to have too many editors on this. That would be the only thing. But I do want everybody to have a chance from our commission to look at it and react. Tell us what you love about it. Mostly tell us what you like. That's what we want to hear. But if you know of other photos that we should be including, that would be really helpful too. Okay. It's been a big project. I was getting maybe 20 to 30 emails a day from Heather and Jeff and other people. Just trying to keep that all in my head is tough, and I know that's been hard for all of us. But thank you again for that great work. Anything else about the signage project? Any questions? It's maybe new to you, Christine, a little bit.
No, it looks great.
Yeah.
It looks great.
I do have some concerns with some of the information when I went back over them, and this is what's hard about history. 100 and something years ago, I was reading, I think Janet had information about the hotel that used to be on the corner of Court and North Main Street, either being the Brown Hotel, the Ross Hotel, and something else. But the book I read had a different order than Jan had. But then Jan said in her email that she had talked to somebody that remembers it being in that certain order of how it was named. So that's the sort of thing on the sign that I think there's kind of two different set of facts on that we need to figure out. So again, I guess I'm going back to editing, but I think it's things like that will be hard to flush out.
Yeah, and once we get it posted on the sign, and somebody comes up and tells us we're wrong, it's not changeable. It would be a problem. Was that a sign that Dick Martin was working on also? Or was that a different one?
No, but I did send it to him to maybe review also to see if he has any memory, because I know he's done so many articles about, various things in Bowling Green and elsewhere, and I thought he might be able to help us with that too, just to make sure. I'm not questioning anybody's information, but I just, if this is solidified on a sign for, several years, I want to make sure it's as right as we can get it. But again, you read different sources, you get different dates, years. I mean, it's tough.
Yeah.
So it'll be the best we can, at least if we kind of turn over as many rocks as we can. Now, Dick was telling me, I didn't realize he co-authored a book about Oak Harbor. And he had said, what's going to happen? We put these signs all up, and then everybody's come out of the woodwork and tell us, oh, I had this great picture, or we should have included this fact. And so that's just how it's going to roll. But I guess we've tried to get it out there, the word.
We'll put that on the QR code. That's all we can do. Until maybe the next 15 years later, the next series of signs goes up. Okay, thank you. Let's move on to the Maple Street district, and I think we're getting close. Will, you were kind of collecting things and double checking. Anything you need to say about?
Looks good.
The biggest hold up, and I think it's good and it's necessary, but it was getting the FAQs kind of in a condition that we all felt were clear and accurate and spoke to potential questions that we will get from our public.
That was a good idea. You suggest about putting the reference section numbers at each question, and yeah, or looks good.
Has everybody had a chance to take a look at that? I think we had this. This was sent out a couple days ago, and actually more than that. Was it a week ago? When did these?
I think the 12th, December 12th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, are they at the city attorney's office then? Yet, or
He's already approved the packet.
oh, he did? Okay, good.
Excellent. Okay.
Were you planning to put the COA application in the packet also?
No, I just wanted that reviewed so we can get it on the webpage because we referenced it several times in the FAQs. So I wanted to really figure out if that was final yet or not so I could work on that.
Let's just stay with the survey and the FAQs for a moment and see if there's any concerns or objections. Thank you for drawing that map, Heather. I see that it's now the Maple Street area is enclosed in blue, and that will go out with the survey. You want a moment just to look?
Yeah, I wasn't here at the beginning of planning the maps. I'm just kind of curious of the shape and odd angles and stuff like that.
The odd shape?
Yeah, especially on Wallace, that little piece that comes down behind the factory or whatever that is, or the city.
The thing off of Morton Street there, the triangle.
Yeah, over here. This little doohickey, yeah.
This big. Mm-hmm. That's the what is that? What do we call that?
Water sewer division.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of property there.
All right, and do they own that little piece that comes down to the south of it? Over on
Yeah.
the far right side of the page?
Yes.
Okay.
And I don't know if we consider that historic or not, but it's all part of the property that faces on Maple.
That's why it's included, just because it faces Maple.
Correct.
That's a Maple address, yeah.
So anything that's like, even if it's on the corner of Wallace and Maple, if it's facing Wallace, that would not be included in this district, at least not at this point. I mean, we could have nominations to include some of those properties later.
Basically, we follow the parcel lines is what we did, just to keep it clean for zoning. Just if you cut a parcel, it makes it harder, then you don't have a legal description, and that's why we just drew it that way.
So the two properties on Wallace, the north and on the west side of the street that are on the north and south side of Wallace, those are both on Maple addresses? Okay.
The Historic Preservation Commission, correct, wanted me to cut that out, so I did. I think I drew this back in April, so it was a while ago.
Okay. Yeah, sorry.
Trying to remember all the
Yeah, I'm sure.
versions of the maps we did.
I can imagine. I was just trying to get up to date because I wasn't present for all that stuff.
Right.
So we're at a historic moment for the Historic Preservation Commission. We're about to, I hope, approve of a survey that would create the first historic district in Bowling Green. So without any objections, could we have a nomination, a recommendation to accept the survey and the FAQs?
I move to accept.
Second.
Everybody in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Next step will be that it's mailed to the residents, I'm assuming after the new year,
Absolutely. And in fact, I don't know how quick because we still have to get the website updated. That will be, I don't want to reference the web page that we don't have updated yet. So I'm not sure. Hoping for January, but I don't want to promise that to you just because I'm relying on other staff in the city to do their part too. And that's why I reference the COA because I don't want to send them a piecemeal web page update. I want to get it all to them at once.
Okay.
So yes, but definitely have to do some updates.
On the second page of the letter, it has a enclosed brief survey by a deadline,
Correct. We'll
Does
have to
that-
fill that in once we determine what day we're able to mail them. And
how long they need to do. Okay.
I figured 3 weeks or so seems fair by the time someone receives their mail and is able to review it. I mean, I almost think if you go more than that, it might be too long, but I don't know what you all think.
Like
if you
3
were to,
weeks from the mail date.
correct.
Yeah, that's probably
I think that's good.
be there within a few days.
And then they're not mailing it back on a certified self-addressed envelope. They just mail it themselves, correct?
So we gave them options in the letter that they can either mail it, drop it off in person, and then we give the hours and obviously our location address, even use the drop box outside, or they can email it to us.
Okay. That's good.
That's good.
Excellent. Okay, let's look for a moment, unless there's any more discussion. Any more discussion on that? Great. Let's look at the COA, the application for certificate of appropriateness.
See, two corrections. The first one's like right on the front page where it says a pre-application meeting with the, would be to strike out is, the HPC is, then insert it, is right after HPC.
With is.
Yes, at a pre-application meeting with the HPC is requested.
Just in the wrong
Yeah.
order. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
See it, Heather?
Yep, I do. Thank you.
And the only other thing was on the second page in red, it's in the middle line, it says, if I am not the property owner. This property is misspelled. But it looks good.
Good eyes there, Will. And this won't go out. I mean, we can all take a look at this more carefully later in case there's another typo. But I think generally looks very good.
Yeah, I think the part we've got to really look close at is that proposed improvements, like which boxes they check. Is that the list there?
You mean look at carefully to make sure we've covered?
Yeah, or
covered it?
whether just like proposed improvements, say driveway and parking, is that, could be looked at, I guess the COA would look at that to see if it's affecting the street view or things like that. Swimming pool, fence.
Well, they would be checking it to say that they need a COA, in which case we would look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it looks good.
I think so.
Okay. Do we need a vote on this? No. Okay. We accept.
Yeah.
But everyone, if you would please just look it over one more time, be sure it's there are no typos. I think it's pretty good. Okay. Friends of HPC. Jeff has put together a list of potential building of the month, which you shared with us, right?
Yeah.
Not too long ago, which I think is great to have. And this is looking at buildings of the month all through December of 2024. So we're missing a few dates in there, but you're proposing already some things like in June and July, which is good. On his list, does everybody have that list? No, only me. Okay.
I can pull it up.
Then I'll just read what the plan is. In January, we're featuring the Canary House, which is owned by George and Susan Winters on West Worcester. And that one is ready to go. And you have all the materials on that,
Yes.
right? Okay. February, Jeff proposed St. Al's Church. And we corresponded a little earlier today about maybe changing that.
Yeah, I found out that St. Al's is celebrating the 100th anniversary of the building in April. So I thought it would be good to make April the month for that.
Good idea. And I propose that we in February, in place of St. Al's, recognize the old hospital in Worcester as a building of the month while it's still standing, just to let people know historically a little bit more about that building. So we're missing a few dates in here, but this is a good start, I think, that'll get us kicked off for the next year. Any other suggestions? Do you want to feature your house, Heidi?
I don't have enough information about it yet.
I just read a nice article by someone related to Jeff about your historic house.
Our historic house.
Yeah, Kristen did a nice job on that.
Thanks.
But that's historic.
Yeah, well, I think we've lived there for almost the third of the time it's existed, so that's,
Know the history then.
we know a little bit of it. There was also a suggestion that I don't think is reflected in my list, that on the basis of the information that Dick Martin collected, that we make the Frony building, which doesn't exist as the Frony building anymore, but it is still an important part of the downtown, one of the buildings of the month.
And is that your building? I think it is.
Yes, it is.
Right.
I think it is.
Yeah.
It was the department store.
The land-
I don't think it
Right.
was-
There were originally 3 sections.
Yep.
So Dick had hoped it would be actually one of the signs that we would post, and we ran out of signs and money. So we're not doing that one, but I think it would be great to use that information, and I think it's already set to go if he's willing to release it. So maybe we could propose that for. You've already got these all filled in, though, don't you? Like these.
Yeah, but we can always change things.
Okay.
You know, this is information that has come up since I made the list.
Okay,
right?
so I propose that Jeff be the keeper of the House of the Month,
Okay, I'll do that.
and maybe we can add Frony House in there someplace.
Yeah, there's plenty of flexibility, especially since most of the assignments as to who is going to do them, well, they're either not filled in or they're still with a question mark, because that's, as we approach the date, we can determine who's going to do it. So there will be a lot of flexibility, but I thought it's good to have a list to start from and change that rather than make it up each month as we go along.
And we have had a lot of public interest in that project, so I think it's one we definitely want to keep going. So any other comments from our friends? Rose Drain.
Just that because of the Martin Luther King holiday, the city council meeting is on the Tuesday. So it's not
Tuesday of
it's not the 15th, it's the
15th of
16th.
of
Yeah.
January.
Yeah,
Okay.
Tuesday.
That's the date that we are doing our presentation, right? Did I say Monday? Oh, thank you. We'll make that Tuesday. Public relations and educational projects. The Wood County Library had a genealogy chat on the 6th of December, and I believe these go monthly, right? I don't know what date those are on. Have any of us attended those?
I haven't.
Okay.
I think they're the Wednesday, first Wednesday of the month, I believe.
At 2 to 3 in the afternoon? Mm-hmm. Okay. Wood County Museum Tea and Talk Series, Trailblazing Women in Ohio Politics. That happened October 26th. There was a turkey drop November 16th. Future workshops, events. Preservation Month in May. Heather mentioned that we should be thinking about this. It seems far away, but I think it maybe will come fast. And we have, Heather, maybe you can just tell us about this city's radio request.
To review last year for Preservation Month, we did basically that sign campaign where people could sign up their historic property, whether it be a house or commercial building, to be highlighted for Preservation Month. And we asked that they give us information about their property so we didn't have to do all that research. A little greedy, right? But actually it was a nice way to engage the community, I think, and help them if they needed assistance researching their building. So my assumption is you want to still do that next year because we did ask people to keep their signs if they would like to. Mm-hmm. And I know I saw some on the building doctor tour, so that was good that they kept them. So I don't know if we want to do that again. Then we planned pretty early. We did a call out to the public again, or the community, if they want to participate. We could obviously reach out to the people we already have from last year. And then, Hallie in our office would create the story map that highlighted each of those properties. So I don't know if we want to, again, on the web page where you can sign up and just kind of reinvent what we did last year. And then, of course, by then, it's likely that we'll be unveiling our signs for Preservation Month. I can't say that with certainty, but that is the planned timeline.
Yeah, I think that was pretty successful.
And then I'm sorry, in April we had a radio interview with the Chambers radio station to talk about Preservation Month and other HPC activities.
So Heather's on deck to do that radio broadcast, right? But you would like to maybe involve one of us.
I think that'd be great if somebody wants to do that.
That's not till April?
Correct.
Who would like to?
WBGU. I can volunteer.
All right, great.
Be nice to go back in the old place.
Mm-hmm. Wood County Public Library, I already mentioned. Boomtown Walking Tour. Is it really going to be a walking tour in February?
No, it's a non-walking tour.
Non-walking tour. Okay, I missed the non. February 9th, 2 to 3 o'clock. Local History Show and Tell, April 19th. Wood County Museum. This already happened, December 14th. And Music at the Museum, that live concert starting in June. I guess we're talking about a few months in advance here, but that will be happening this summer. So, unbelievably, we may be finishing early. Any new business from our commission or anyone else?
Lobby visitation is on the
right.
agenda.
The whole lobby's ready.
Let me just clarify. So you do want to do the sign campaign again for Preservation Month?
I think
Okay,
it's good.
making sure I...
Yes, sorry. We didn't.
You're fine.
We didn't finish that, but I think it was a great idea.
Okay.
We can take advantage of the momentum that's already there because years go very fast. And as you said, it will parallel in some way our sign project.
Gail Nader, I don't know if we talked about this last time, but she mentioned to me again how many people stop to read about her house, and probably your house too, Rose, right? So I think it's great to celebrate those homes that we're proud of. Excellent. Okay, that's all I have.
I'd make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. We are adjourned.